A retired former agent of a secret organization realizes how rotten the government is. He decides to use the skills he has been learning all his life and begins to punish the guilty with his own hands. In his fight against the system, he intends to go all the way to the top. The story begins in an old barn where a swarm of bees has taken up residence. Adam Slay, a beekeeper, sets out to eliminate the hive at the request of Mrs. Parker, the owner of the farm on which he resides. The woman invites him to tea, and in the meantime, Adam gets rid of the bees using a neon lamp and a stun gun. While he is busy with the apiary, the landlady notices a message on the screen that her computer is infected with a virus. To avoid losing her data, she is told to call the number given to her urgently. At the other end of the line is Mickey, a fraudster posing as a security specialist. He scares the woman that her files will disappear unless a new antivirus program is installed. Taking advantage of her trust, Mickey convinces her to click on the link and download the infected file. In this way, the criminals gain access to her bank account. Even though Mrs. Parker is just a retired teacher, she has over $2 million in her accounts. To trick her, the scammer pretends to accidentally transfer $50,000 to her instead of $500 and asks her to refund the difference. Checking her balance, the woman enters her password, which is instantly intercepted by the attacker. Soon, the computer shuts down and the money disappears from the account. Mrs. Park realizes she's been duped. Meanwhile, Adam Slay fills a jar with fresh honey to treat his mistress. When he arrives at her house and hears the alarm, he goes inside, turns off the siren, and takes a knife from the kitchen. In the next room, he finds a gun with an empty shell casing and traces of blood. But no sooner does he look around than Verona Parker, the landlady's daughter and an FBI agent, points the gun at him. Mistaking him for a criminal, Verona handcuffs him. However, she soon discovers her mother in a chair with a gunshot wound to the head. Arriving police officers arrest Adam, suspecting him of murder. Verona examines the evidence and finds a laptop with an empty bank account. In the morning, the police release Slay as there is no evidence of his involvement. Verona arrives at his barn to apologize for his hasty accusations and offers to talk to him. During the conversation, it is revealed that the crooks did not steal her mother's personal savings, but money from the Children's Center's foundation. The cyber criminals acted too cautiously, and experienced lawyers will help them get away with it. Adam decides to act on his own. He pulls out a hidden satellite phone from the hive and contacts a former colleague, asking for help in tracking down the scammers. For the hacker, it is not a problem, and soon the coordinates reach the beekeeper. Having realized where the criminals are hiding, Adam takes 2 cans of gasoline and goes to the office. At the entrance, the guards demand that he leave, but instead of answering, Slay demonstrates his skills. The guards fall unconscious and he sneaks the gasoline inside. In the lobby, he finds out from the receptionist where the right office is and then sets off the fire alarm. Once in the office, he gives the crooks one last chance to stop, demonstrating what awaits them otherwise. To prevent them from committing a second crime, he starts pouring gasoline on the room, but the security guards, led by Mickey, show up. The boss demands to deal with the uninvited guest, but Adam has other plans. He gives the guards a beating and then lays an explosive device that reacts to the next call of the swindlers. As soon as he leaves the building, it explodes. Slay doesn't even turn around. He leaves, and in the meantime, Mickey informs his boss, the head of the corporation, Derek Danforth, of what has happened. The latter turns to his head of security, Westfield, a former high-ranking agent. Westfield is annoyed to be disturbed by such a thing, but still offers to check the company's recent files to find a lead. Mickey and his men go to Mrs. Parker's farm, where they spot Adam. However, in a fit of anger, they make the mistake of destroying the beehives. This becomes their death sentence. They break into the barn, but the owner acts faster. He neutralizes the first attacker and then, without getting his hands dirty, strangles the second. The third breaks his neck before he can scream. Hearing the noise, Mickey starts shooting, but misses. Adam seizes the initiative, cuts off his fingers, and leaves him in agony. Meanwhile, Verona receives a report of the crook's office being blown up, and immediately afterward learns of a fire at her mother's house. Documents found prove that all these events are connected. At this time, Mickey calls Derek from the drawbridge, but the conversation is cut short. He is attacked by Adam. He ties the con man to the car and throws him into the river. After that, he picks up the phone himself and warns Derek that this is just the beginning. Derek once again goes to Westfield for advice, who tells him that he once left his position as head of the CIA to look after the corporation. Now, however, they are confronted by Beekeeper, a member of the most classified service, whose existence is hidden even from intelligence. Westfield contacts Jessica Denford, Derek's mother, and asks the CIA to stop Adam. But it turns out that he left the service long ago. Despite this, an active Beekeeper's agent is sent against him. At a gas station, Adam's car is rammed by a car. A woman gets out of it and opens fire. She kills the policeman, but Adam doesn't give her a chance. He uses a hose, immobilizes her, and interrogates her. When she tries to pull out a heavy weapon, he knocks her out with a jar of honey. Adam throws a lighter, and the leftover fuel from the hose bursts into flames. As the girl burns alive, he picks up a knife that has fallen out and carefully cuts off her index finger, then puts it in a bag. Borrowing a cart from a random passerby, the man drives off, again not looking back at the gas station that caught fire. He heads to his murdered partner's base, using the finger as a key to replenish supplies and devise a plan of attack on the 9 Points office. Westwild reports that target elimination has failed. The problem remains unsolved. In addition, the Beekeepers have refused to further interfere with their colleagues' mission. Westwild forms a group of mercenaries for protection. He explains that the Beekeepers do not answer to anyone. Their only task is to take care of the hive. If a uterus produces sick offspring, they riot to eliminate her. A theory emerges that Adam has a similar goal. Following the trail of corpses, Verona discovers a Beekeeper's guide at a gas station. Having analyzed his path, she and her partner conclude that Adam is moving to Boston, to the office of 9 Points, from where they manage the centers of telephone fraud. The FBI arranges for the agents to meet with the deputy director, Prigg. Verona lays out his hypothesis and requests a SWAT team to apprehend him. Prigg doubts the existence of a secret organization of beekeepers, but allocates a SWAT team. Outside the 9 Points office, the FBI fighters encounter mercenaries who are ordered to keep the defense inside while agents patrol outside. However, the situation changes when Adam shows up. He politely asks the SWAT team not to interfere with him, but having been refused, instantly massacres the squad, without hesitation firing at the armored vests and piercing the protective helmets with powerful blows. Having taken a hostage, Adam enters the building. At this time, the rogue manager calls Derek and demands that the mercenaries interfering with their activities be called off. After the order, the guards leave, greeted by cheering applause from the crooks, among whom Adam is hiding. The Beekeeper suggests that Varya leave the building quietly, but soon the mercenaries return and open fire. Adam hides in the corridors of the business center, acting like an experienced predator. He hides on the ceiling, suddenly attacking from above. Pulling the fire alarm, he attacks the mercenary ringleader, who loses his entire squad. Adam then brutally beats him, ending the fight by hitting him with a fire extinguisher. At that moment, an FBI SWAT team bursts into the building. Adam, like a Home Alone hero, sets up traps with taut cables. When the SWAT team gets inside, he hides on the roof of the elevator. The soldiers open fire, but Adam remains unharmed. After waiting for them to run out of ammunition, he undermines the cable and the elevator car falls down rapidly, taking the agents with it. Those who manage to jump out fall into the traps set beforehand. After removing another obstacle, Adam goes to the office manager to find out who is behind the scam. After a tough interrogation, he learns the name of Derek Danforth. About to leave, Adam is confronted by Verona. Verona convinces him to surrender, but he chooses to run away, beating up her partner along the way. Meanwhile, the FBI figures out Adam's next target, and they're not happy about it. When it becomes clear that he's gotten away again, Westfield reports it to Jessica Danforth, who happens to be the President of the United States. Verona informs Prigg that Jessica's campaign was funded by her own company, which was put under her son's management, which means the money was stolen. What's more, the crooks used secret CIA technology. Now Beekeeper is ready to restore justice by targeting the corrupt Queen of the Hive. Prigg orders this to be kept secret and allocates additional resources to catch the dangerous veteran. Derek goes to the presidential residence where a party is planned and security is provided by the Secret Service. Verona and her partner arrive there as well. At the same time, Westwild hires a mercenary squad under the command of Lazarus, a man who has already encountered Adam and lost a leg as a result of that meeting. Jessica is flown in by helicopter. The only one not taking the situation seriously is Derek, who continues his carefree drug use. While security scrutinizes incoming cars, Adam infiltrates the property through the sewers. He strangles the agent conducting the inspection and takes his place, donning a balaclava. While the guards let their guard down, Adam mines the vehicles. He then changes into a suit and, without giving anything away, moves quietly around the mansion, tracking his target. During this time, Verona notices Prig having a conversation with the president, leading her to suspect their collusion. Later, the deputy director of the FBI, the president, and her son gather in the office to discuss the situation. Verona notices Adam among the guests and immediately gives orders to detain him. In addition to the Secret Service, mercenaries get involved. However, Adam lures the pursuers into a trap far away from the house. Lazarus, having barely caught up with him, intends to kill the beekeeper, but Verona prevents him. After waiting for the right moment, Adam detonates the explosives. In the turmoil, he wounds Lazarus again, shooting him in the jaw, and breaks into the mansion, eliminating all who stand in his way. He sows panic among the guests by shooting into the air, and then rushes upstairs with the inevitability of dawn and the deadliness of an epidemic. Lazarus meets him in front of his office. Despite his injuries, the mercenary puts up a fight and even wounds Adam with a knife, but the latter uses his prosthesis to his advantage. He knocks it out with a punch, after which he methodically beats Lazarus and stabs him. As he prepares to blow the door open, Westwild tries to stop him, but gets his arm broken. The president, hearing the commotion, offers a rescue option. She decides to confess to the crimes, hoping for a pardon. However, her son disagrees. He pulls out a revolver and shoots Prig. At that moment, there is an explosion and Adam appears in a puff of smoke. FBI agents rush in. Derek takes his mother hostage, but Adam remains cool. Reminding Verona that by law, Derek will not be responsible for her mother's death, he fires a precise shot into his forehead. Adam then jumps out the window and escapes. Verona, holding him at gunpoint, lowers her weapon in gratitude for his revenge. He is pursued, but he has hidden the immersion suit beforehand. This concludes the movie.